What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight. Okay, here we go. Making their debut on the channel tonight. We have Hanoi Rocks. Yes, indeed. How about that? Hanoi Rocks making their debut on the channel. I can just imagine my friend Richie right now just jumping up and down his couch, you know, holding his head going, oh my God, it's finally happening.
Oh my God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
I can just see Richie doing that right now. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bibbity-bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Brett Byer, and Brett wanted to see me react to this song by Hanoi Rocks called First Timer. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have heard of Hanoi Rocks. I've heard of this band. I know of their existence. And I know my guy Richie, I know this is one of the bands that he likes. He likes a lot of bands from those, you know, early to late 80s era. He's a big fan of those bands. So I know this is one of the bands. I've heard him mention this band several times in passing. So like I said, I'm sure he's losing his ever-loving mind right now. So yeah, Richie, it's finally happening here. The day has come. Time has come today. Yeah. And we're going to check this out. Hanoi Rocks for the first time. All right. Yeah, because I've never heard any songs by these guys. So this is actually, to the best of my knowledge, this is going to be my first exposure to them. So anyway, let's see. This was posted by Hanoi Rocks Topic. Okay. And the video has 6,800 views. Oh, there you go. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. First timer. That's all I got. That's all it says. There is some artwork here. It does say Hanoi Rocks here, so I hope we're in the right spot. Look, this is the link that was given to me, so if we're not in the right spot, don't blame me. Blame the requester. Blame Brett. You know, I'm just using what he gave me. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Please, operator. Please, operator. This is the first time I was a one man. Please, operator. Please, operator.
Not at all what I was expecting.
This is the first time I was a one man. Well, you can change your way, become my shoulder. Although we don't always realize how things become harder and harder. You're not supposed to be ashamed of time. I've been hanging on my telephone. How come you don't ever call? How come you don't ever come? Please, operator. Please, operator. This is the first time I was a one man.
That right is piercing. We may have a guitar solo. Let me back up. Not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a like classic rock feel, 80s hard rock feel. I was kind of expecting something a little more towards that realm. And we get this. Okay, so the sound is definitely 80s hard rock, like 80s early hard rock. The tone of the guitars, the mix in the drums, definitely that era. But the feel of the songwriting is like new wave 80s. Like I'm a little conflicted on this. Maybe it's because of the drums, because of the way the drums, the way the drummer is playing it. I know it's a real drummer. I think it's a real drummer. They have a drummer in their credits, I think. They've always had a drummer to the best of my knowledge. But it almost sounds like it's a drum machine. It's that straight ahead. It's that, for lack of a better word, I hate to say it, but it's that sterile. It's that robotic. It sounds like a drum machine. It's so new wave 80s. It really is. It's got that feel, and the vocal style very much in that new wave 80s feel. It's kind of a conflict, but it sounds decent. Like it is merging well. It's just I'm just personally just kind of conflicted on this. A little weird, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not horrible. Just not at all what I was expecting. Anyway, let's get back into this. See if we're right about the guitar solo. Sounds like I was right. F sharp. Short, sweet, and to the point. Literally just a touch over 3 minutes. I'm glad it was only 3 minutes. If this song had gone on for like 4.5 to 5 minutes like that, I don't know if I'd be able to handle it. 3 minutes, yeah, that's just the right amount of time right there, boy. That's perfect. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Hanoi Rocks with First Timer. This was a request from Brett Beyer. All right. I didn't have to think very long. It's a short song, so didn't have to think long, and I'm willing to bet we're gonna have a pretty short review to boot. So don't get too comfortable, folks. Let's start off with a score, and we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that a 6.4. Yep, 6.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, 6.4. What does that mean? Well, a 6.4 would translate to a pretty good skill rating, so overall, I think this is a pretty good song. It would also get 3 out of 5 stars and a B- letter grade. Yeah, not a C, not a D, a B- letter grade. Yeah, let that one sink in for just a little bit. Yeah, so there you go, a 6.4, pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars and a B- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Can we be honest here? Okay, did this song ever have a chance of being up in the 9s? Absolutely not. How about the 8s? Absolutely not. How about the 7s? Yeah, not really. I don't think so. Now 6s is really, honestly, it's where it belongs. Let's look at the songwriting, okay? Chord progression, very simple, very easy to follow. It makes sense. It flows well, absolutely. It's very conducive to itself as far as from a chord progression standpoint goes. Everything lined up, everything made sense. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say predictable, because I thought I had an idea of what I was in store for, and as it turns out, I was completely off. So I wouldn't say predictable, unless maybe you're very familiar with this band, then maybe you could say predictable. But everything lined up, everything sounded good, everything made sense. So I have no problem with the songwriting. Just very simplistic, but like I've always done the channel, simple can be effective when it's done properly. And again, this was done properly. It was definitely a bopper, definitely. Lots of shades of that new wave 80s feel mixed with a mid to early 80s. I'm sorry, let me back up a little bit. Let me retract what I just said because it was wrong, I'm sure. It had an early new wave 80s feel, but it had that mid to early 80s hard rock sound. The tone of the guitars, very early to mid 80s hard rock sound, as opposed to the feel that we were getting from a new wave 80s type of feel. So that was interesting. Not at all what I was expecting, honestly. I was expecting something a little more on the hard rock end, straight ahead, Sunset Strip type of feel, mid 80s, mid to early 80s feel. Well, early to mid to maybe even like 86, 87, somewhere in there. I was expecting more of a straight ahead hard rock feel, and instead we didn't get that whatsoever. We got that new wave 80s feel. Weird. Weird to say the least. I didn't see that coming. I've heard my guy Richie, and I have a pretty good idea of the type of music that he likes and he enjoys listening to, and he's mentioned this band several times. It doesn't add up. It doesn't line up. It just doesn't. It's just like, this does not compute. But hey, it's all good. It sounded fine. Musicianship from a drumming standpoint, very straight ahead. To the point where it almost sounded like a drum machine. I'm not 100% sure if it wasn't. It may very well have been a drum machine. Then again, maybe it was just the drummer playing that tight. I know they had a drummer. I know they did at the time. I don't know. I'm sure they'd probably... I don't know. Are these guys still playing? I don't know. I mean, it's possible they're still playing. Anything's possible in this world. Hopefully they still have a drummer. I'm not sure. Guitar playing, very straight ahead. It right up there with the drumming. It was just, it got the job done. The guitar solo was nice, but I wouldn't say anything was impressive about it. But it sounded good. What was played during the guitar solo was conducive to the song and what was happening within the song. So no problems. I'm just not gonna sit there and pretend like I'm blown away by it. Vocally, not impressive, pretty simplistic with what he was doing, but again, fit the mood and tone of the song. And I mean that coming from two different directions. It had the style of that new wave 80s feel, but again with the sound of mid 80s hard rock. So again, blending of styles, and he made it work. So absolutely no issues there. If I'm being honest, I would have put this song down somewhere in the high fives, like 5.8, 5.9. I was really thinking about that. But one factor popped up. Well, actually two factors. The main factor was the bass playing. That bass player was pretty active. I mean, he was, yes, he was playing root notes, but he was doing more than just that. And he was really kind of staying up in that mid-range, playing the E, but not the open string E, not the fourth string. Playing more up on the octave above. Whether he was, now, I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was on the second string, second fret. Maybe he was on the third string, seventh fret. I don't know where he was, but he was playing this. They're the same note, they're the same octave. But moving around, playing with octaves a bit, and even playing with, going up to the 5 to the 4 to the 3, always going back to the root. So root 5, root 4, root 3, back to the main root. Like for example, going from the E, going down from the E to the C, and from the C going G, back to C, F, back to C, E, back to C, and then resolving back to the E again, back to the original root. Doing little riffs like that, or even L patterns that he was doing. He was very active. He was never just staying on the root the entire song, like I've heard a lot of other bass players from this era do. Yeah, and I know people going, well, they're playing octaves. Yeah, you're right, they're playing octaves. Good for them. They're playing E to 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 E, and that's wonderful and that's great. It's still root notes. No, this guy was not just staying on the roots. He was moving around, and he was moving around really well and very tastefully. So it was the most interesting part of the song, if I'm being honest, and that bumped it up for sure. And the other thing I'm going to give it up to a 6.4 for, the reasoning behind it, that bump up, would be the feel and the groove of the song. Yeah, it had that new wave 80s feel, yeah, but boy, it was bopping along, man. It absolutely was. And I found myself doing this and grooving along to it. I couldn't help myself. So yeah, it's a feel-good song. Nothing impressive about it at all, other than the bass playing, if I'm being honest. But it still feels good, it sounds good, and it will make you bounce. So yeah, 6.4. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 6.4, which is pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.